Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
The Kraft Cheese Company, makers of Parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products, presents Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve. Kraft brings you The Great Gildersleeve every week at this time, written by John Whedon and Sam Moore, with music by Claude Sweet. We'll hear from The Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. Well, the season for picnics has rolled around again, and you'll certainly want to include in your lunch basket a variety of sandwiches spread with delicious Parquet margarine. Parquet margarine spreads so smoothly, adds such appetizing flavor to sandwiches, it's sure to please your whole family. It's sure to please guests at your picnic, too, because Parquet margarine is a favorite spread of millions, known far and wide for its truly fine, fresh flavor. Parquet margarine is also a splendid energy food, you know, and every single pound provides 9,000 units of important vitamin A. So add Parquet's nourishing goodness to your picnic sandwiches, just as you add it to meals at home for a real satisfying flavor treat. When you buy margarine, be sure to ask for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, the delicious spread millions prefer to any other brand. Parquet margarine, made by Kraft. Now let's look in on the Great Gildersleeve's household. It's breakfast time, and while Marjorie and Leroy are at the table, Uncle Throckmorton has not yet put in an appearance.
Leroy, stop dumping sugar in your cocoa.
Who said so?
I said so. It's disgusting.
I have to put in quite a lot to get it the way I like it. Bertie won't let me put honey in it anymore.
Well, I should hope not. Pig.
Leroy, I think maybe you better call your uncle. He'll be late to the office.
Well, he's up. He's been up a long time.
How do you know?
I heard him fall down in the bathtub.
Maybe he hurt himself.
Nah, I heard him say some things after.
Oh, I think I hear him coming now. He'll claim he's in a hurry, Bertie. You better bring him the works.
You don't have to tell me.
Well, good morning, children.
Good morning, Unky.
Hi.
Breakfast coming right in, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Fine, Bertie. I'm late.
Yes, you are. You look very sweet, though. I love that necktie.
Now, Marjorie, I didn't even have time to shave.
Really? I never would have noticed. Oh, Unky, there's something I wanted to ask you.
I thought so.
Shut up. I wanted to ask you last night, but I was asleep when you came in.
Oh, what is it, my dear?
Would it be okay for me to work at Hogan Brothers after school and on Saturdays?
What's this?
Hogan Brothers need a sales girl in their sub-deb shop. Can I do it?
Well,
Here you are, Mr. Gildersleeve. Orange juice, scrambled eggs, toast, and coffee.
Thank you, Bertie. I'll have to eat and run this morning.
Francie had the job 3 weeks, but she quit. She said it was easy.
Now, why did she quit?
Would you kindly mind your own business, brother dear?
What is this sub-deb shop, Marjorie? What do they sell?
Clothes, of course. I know just as much about clothes as any girl around. I certainly know more than Francie. Her mother won't even let her pick out her own clothes. Can I have the job, Unky?
I'm sorry, my dear. I don't think it would be right.
But why?
I have a number of very good reasons. Pass the salt, please, Leroy.
Here.
Let me tell you something, my dear. Your uncle occupies a position of some distinction in this town. That's what Hogan's want to take advantage of.
But I haven't even asked Hogan's for the job.
Don't do it. They'll grab you faster than they grabbed Francie. They like the idea of the water commissioner's niece punching a time clock and saying, yes, madam, to heaven knows who.
Oh, Unky, just from 3:30 to 5:30 every afternoon and 9 to 5 on Saturday, that's nothing at all.
It's not the hours I'm objecting to, my dear. It's the whole idea of the job.
But it would be such good experience. And $22 a week. Please, Unky.
No, Marjorie, I'm trying to bring you up as a girl who will make someone a nice wife. Be a good mother to some nice children.
But, Uncle Mort, don't you want me to have any career at all?
I do not. A woman's place is at home, married or single.
But that's so old-fashioned. Why, even married women work these days. Lots of wives work.
Well, if I had one, she wouldn't. Except a little around the house, maybe.
Do you think that's all a husband wants, a housekeeper?
I know that no normal man wants a wife who spends the day in an office or a store.
Well, I think you're mean. I'm trying to earn a little money so I won't be a burden to you and I can have a few clothes.
The discussion is closed, my dear.
Well, I still think you're mean.
Now, Marjorie.
Better get going, Leroy. It's 10 minutes of 9.
Good gosh! Where'd I leave my arithmetic book, Marge?
I don't know. Don't expect me to keep track of it.
Did you have it, Uncle Mort?
What would I be doing with your arithmetic book, Leroy?
I don't know. I thought I left it right here on the mantel. Hey, Marge, wait for me.
Well, hurry up. Is this your book here in the Newell Post?
Oh, yeah, I left it there so I couldn't miss it.
Well, come on.
Hey, goodbye, children.
Go along.
I guess you got to go yourself, ain't you, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes, Bertie, I'm late. Oh, coffee's cold now.
You got time for a fresh cup?
No, I got to get going.
I got it right here.
Well, there's no use going to the office if I can't function after I get there. Half a cup, Bertie.
Yes, sir.
Oh, a little more than that.
Yes, sir.
Bertie, what do you think Marjorie's got into her head now?
I don't know, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Wants to get a job. Doesn't want to do housework when she grows up.
Is that a fact?
She doesn't understand what fun it's going to be someday to make a home for some nice young man. Take care of his clothes, cook his meals, keep his house looking neat and nice. She doesn't realize what a pleasure that can be for a woman.
No, sir. I guess you don't.
There's something else she doesn't realize, Bertie. She doesn't realize how hard men's work is. She doesn't know the strain it is to be responsible for an organization, to have to plan, make decisions. She just isn't growing up, Bertie.
No, sir. She's just a child.
Well, gotta get down to the office. Yeah, another day at that desk. See if you can find some meat for supper tonight, Bertie. I'll be home at 5:30 and I'll be hungry.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, Bertie.
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve. I sure would like to be a water commissioner, just long enough to get a little rest.
Hi there, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Good morning, Floyd.
You're a little late this morning, even for you.
Yes, my alarm clock isn't what it used to be.
My wife ain't either, but she still wakes me up. You coming in for a shave?
A shave? Oh, no, I haven't got time, Floyd. Is it very noticeable?
I'll say. You better come in and look in the glass.
Gee, looks worse than I thought. My niece told me it looked all right, but she was trying to get something out of me.
Well, once over lightly.
And make it snappy. Yeah.
Your niece giving you the old malarkey, huh? What you want, money?
Not exactly. She wanted me to let her take a job at Hogan Brothers.
Wish I had a kid that could bring in a little dough. Could close up Saturday afternoons.
I'm afraid we have different standards on this question, Floyd. I disapprove of my niece working. I believe woman's place is the home.
Oh, well, I'm with you there, Commissioner. My wife goes out when I take her. But now, kid, that's something different.
I don't think so. I want her to get married, that's all.
Sure, I understand that. Let her be somebody else's headache.
My niece is not a headache. I simply want to bring her up to be a good wife and a good mother.
We ain't arguing, Mr. Gildersleeve. We're 100% eye to eye. But there's another angle. Where's a girl going to meet her husband these days?
I'm not worrying about that either, Floyd.
I had a cousin, a girl, my father's brother's family. And this girl, well, she wasn't exactly homely. Figure was okay. She was pretty good if you walked up behind her. But, brother, she had a nose I don't know where it come from. Nothing like it in our family.
I came in for a shave, Floyd.
Oh, sure. Well, this girl used to sit around the house waiting for her husband. And her mother give parties for her, and her old man practically told her to get married in so many words. And I'll hand it to her. She tried. But the fellas would take one look at that beezer and then run for home. Just lay down, Commissioner. Let me loosen your collar.
Make it snappy, will you please, Floyd?
You bet. Well, this kid finally took a job in a drugstore. And what do you think? Inside of 3 weeks, she married a soda jerker.
Well, that's fine. Hooray. Look, Floyd, I'm late.
Of course, she was lucky to meet this guy. He's the only man in the world with a nose bigger than hers.
Well, I'm sure they're very happy.
You ought to see their kids. They look like baby elephants. Now, I don't say your niece has any problem like my cousin.
My niece has no problem, Floyd. She wants to work for fun.
Fun? Is she crazy?
No. Floyd, I've got to get to the office.
Oh, now, Commissioner, it don't make any difference when you get there. You know that.
Let me onto the chair, please.
Now, Commissioner, just relax. I'll have you shaved in 5 minutes.
Well, I'll relax on one condition. Don't talk anymore. Just shave me.
Okay. I could take a hint. Customer don't want conversation, all they gotta do is say so. Gotta please all kinds. Some like talk, some don't. I remember one customer...
Good and late now.
Well, if it isn't the great Gildersleeve finally arriving at his office. Good afternoon.
If you have business to discuss with me, Judge, kindly step inside.
You know darn well I have business to discuss with you. I've been waiting for you nearly an hour.
Well, my secretary is supposed to remind me of these things.
I reminded you last night.
That Bessie, I'm going to have to let her go. Yes, sir, I'm going to... Where is Bessie?
Some office. Well, if the boss never gets in till 10, you can't expect the help to do any better.
What was it you wished to see me about?
Well, it has to do with a change in the city's contract with the liability insurance people. They seem to feel...
I think I hear Bessie sneaking in. By George, I'm going to have to let her go. Bessie!
Oh, good morning, Mr. Gildersleeve. Good morning, Judge Hooker.
Good morning, Bessie.
Bessie, is this the hour at which you're supposed to arrive at the office?
No, sir.
Have you any explanation? Can you tell me why you should get here an hour later than your employer? You're supposed to open the office, Bessie.
Well, I didn't think you'd mind, just this once. I had something quite important I had to do this morning.
Oh, you did? Had it anything to do with the affairs of the water department by any chance?
No, sir. I was meeting a train.
A relative, no doubt.
No, sir. Just a friend.
Well, perhaps you'd like to spend the rest of the day with your friend, would you?
Yes, sir, I would.
Perhaps you'd like to spend the rest of the week with your friend.
Yes, sir, I would.
Perhaps you'd like to resign from the water department.
Yes, sir, I would. Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Bessie! Bessie, wait! Bess!
Now you've done it.
Well, I've been meaning to do it for years. She's the worst secretary ever born.
What do you do next?
Hire another girl. Take a couple of weeks to break her in, but anybody will be better than Bessie.
Where are you going to find another girl?
Summerfield Employment Agency. Good, reliable firm. And by George, I'll get a good-looking one this time. After all, she has to meet the public, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Horace, why don't I have them send over half a dozen girls and you and I spend a couple hours interviewing them? Is that a bad way to spend an afternoon?
No, it isn't, Gilda.
Yeah, you darn right it isn't.
But I think you're going to find it a little difficult to arrange.
Nothing to it. Just call the employment people.
I called them myself last week. They're out of business.
Out of business? Why?
Well, in the first place, they couldn't find anyone that needed a job, and in the second place, they couldn't find anyone to answer the phone.
Oh!
Greg Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds. And now, here's something that's always with us, that problem of preparing good, tasty meals. You homemakers face that problem 3 times a day. And that's all the more reason you'll welcome Parquet Margarine, a delicious spread that can add fine flavor to every single meal you serve. Parquet's flavor is fresh, delicate, satisfying. That's why Parquet is one of America's favorite spreads for bread, toast, and rolls, and a flavorsome seasoning for hot-cooked vegetables, too. Parquet also adds wonderful nourishment to meals because it's so high in food energy value and because every single pound provides 9,000 units of important vitamin A. So treat your family to delicious, nourishing Parquet at every meal. Buy the delicious spread that millions prefer to any other brand. Parkay, Parquet Margarine, made by Kraft. Remember, millions prefer Parquet to any other brand. Well, things are in a fine mess with Gildersleeve. Seems he was a little hasty in firing his secretary.
I didn't fire. I let her go.
Anyway, now he's squarely up against the woman power shortage with all the monthly bills to get out. After a bad day of struggling with them alone, he comes home early and slumps down in his chair to read the evening paper.
Might just glance through the want ads. How can I read my paper? Leroy, what are you doing up there? Well, stop it. I mean, can't you do it more quietly?
Okay.
How can a man concentrate with that going on? Help wanted. Help wanted. Plenty of help wanted, but no help. New York 2, Cincinnati nothing. Leroy!
Sorry, Unc, I forgot.
I just finished telling you. Come down here.
What's that?
Come on down.
Okay.
I'd like to know what kind of arithmetic that is. Oh, solo mio.
Did you want me, Unc?
Did you have to shake the house down?
Oh, me?
Let it go, Leroy. Where's Marjorie?
Across the street at the Bullards.
She spends entirely too much time at the Bullards.
She's been over there all afternoon, practically. I've been upstairs doing my homework.
So I've heard.
Oh, here's Marge now. Unc wants to talk to you.
I'll be right in.
Where have you been all afternoon?
You know where I was. You were over there.
Well, what's the idea of spending all your time over
Now, Leroy, I'll handle it.
Handle what?
Nothing, my dear, nothing at all. Have you had a pleasant afternoon?
Wonderful. You know what? Marshall's going to teach me to play tennis this summer.
Oh, triple goody.
Well, that's fine, my dear. But I've been thinking.
He gave me my first lesson today. He says he thinks I have the makings of a good player.
How would he know?
It just happens that Marshall is a very fine tennis player. It happens he was on the tennis team at school, the last one he went to.
Ha!
Well, he was.
Don't cause me to laugh.
Leroy, if we'll be not asking too much, I'd like a few words with your sister.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Unc wants to talk to you, Marge.
I've been thinking, my dear, about what we were saying this morning, about your going to work this summer.
Oh, that's all right, Uncle Mort. It was just an idea. I don't care now, really. I'm sorry I made such a fuss.
Yeah, but you don't understand. I was going to ask you how you'd like to act as your uncle's secretary.
Your secretary?
Yes, temporarily anyway. I lost mine today.
Uncle Mort, I thought you were against women having jobs.
Well, this is different. This wouldn't be for pay.
What?
All right, I'll even pay you a little something.
Hey, no fair. If Marge doesn't have to go to school, why should I?
No one said anything about her not going to school, my boy. She can work for me in the afternoons till school is over, and then she can work full-time this summer. Might even be able to use you, too. Afternoons, I mean.
What would I have to do?
Sharpen pencils, empty wastebaskets, stamp envelopes, whatever an office boy does.
How much would you pay me?
As much as I think you're worth.
Is that all?
On second thought, I'm afraid I better not try to do it, Uncle Mort. I'm afraid Marshall might not like it.
Marshall might not like it. What has he got to say about it?
Well, he offered to teach me tennis. Now, if I have to tell him I'm not going to do it just so I can take a job, just so I can make a little money.
You tell him you're going to do it because your uncle said so. That's why. And you, Leroy.
I was thinking of taking up polo, Unc.
You'll be down there right after school tomorrow, both of you, at 3:30 sharp.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. Well, I haven't seen you in some time. Not since yesterday.
I'm a busy man today, Peavy. My time is not my own. I'd like a bite of lunch.
A little late for lunch, isn't it? 3:15. We don't usually serve lunch here after 2 o'clock.
What difference does it make? All you serve is sandwiches anyway. What have you got there?
Well, let me see. You seem to have the tongue on rye.
That the same tongue on rye that was lying there yesterday?
Not necessarily.
Well, that's good enough, I guess.
Care for a little mustard on it? No extra charge.
Haven't got time.
Well, you are in a hurry, aren't you?
Terrible day, Peavy. End of the month. I've got to get out all the bills, and I'm short-handed.
How's the sandwich?
It's the one I thought. Been around for days.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Something to drink?
No, thanks. I'll be lucky if I get this down.
A little dessert, maybe.
Well, something I can take with me. What are those things there?
Oh, these? They're called nubs.
That doesn't answer my question. What are they?
Well, between you and me, they're Fig Newtons. They come 4 to the package, cellophane wrapped, sell for 5 cents. They're put up by a reliable concern.
Just give me one of those.
They're a trifle smaller than the standard Newton, you see. Makes a nice mouthful.
All right. Give it to me.
By the way, you just missed your niece.
Marjorie?
Yeah, she was just in here with that Bullard boy.
Confounded, what is she doing in here? I told her she was to go straight to the office the minute school was out.
They had a soda and a battleship sundae.
Yeah, that's the younger generation for you. hanging around drugstores when they should be accomplishing something. Now, you take Marjorie, Peavy. I offered her a nice little opportunity today.
That's all?
Yeah, working for me. Sort of a secretarial position.
You're going to hire Marjorie as your secretary?
Well, there's a war on, you know. Anything wrong with that?
Nothing, Mr. Gildersleeve. Nothing.
Well, what is wrong with it?
Nothing. I've just always thought it was a mistake to have relatives working for you, that's all.
Marjorie is not a relative. She's my niece.
I know, but even so, I had a younger brother of Mrs. Peavy's as a sort of assistant here one summer, after some time ago.
Oh, what happened?
Well, by the end of the summer, Mrs. Peavy and I were only speaking to each other through a third party.
Serves you right for being fool enough to hire him.
That's what I say.
How'd you ever get rid of him?
Well, fortunately, he set the house on fire and she threw him out. Everything was all right again then. But my advice to you, Mr. Gildersleeve, if advice is what you want...
Well, it isn't. I want my check.
Oh. Let's see, 115, 21. Kind of a hurry, aren't you?
I told you I was in a hurry when I came in here. Got to get back to the office. When I went out, I put a sign on the door, out to lunch. That won't look so good at 3:45.
Whom did you wish to see, please?
Oh, stop. Come on in, Marshall.
Hi, Leroy.
Did you have an appointment?
Pay no attention to him, Marshall. Where's Uncle Mort?
Out, I guess. There's a sign on the door. Take a letter, Miss Forrester. Dear Mr. Picklepuss.
Get out of there, Leroy. That's got to be my desk.
Okay, I'll take Unc's office.
Better not let him catch you. Sit down somewhere, Marshall.
That's okay. I'll just sit on the desk here.
Oh, Miss What's your name? If I want you, I'll ring for you.
Isn't he awful?
No, he's a good kid. A pest, but a good kid.
He's a pest, all right. Let him ring.
No kidding, Marge. Are you really going to work here?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Every afternoon?
I suppose so.
All summer?
What if I do?
But we'll never see each other. After school, I mean.
Miss Funnyface, I rang.
Oh, go away.
Remind me to fire you in the morning.
Well, if your mind's made up, I guess there's nothing more to be said.
Hey, Marshall, wait a minute.
Well?
Does it mean so much to you if I work here or not?
Well, I just happen to think that a woman's place is in the home, that's all.
But that's so old-fashioned. You sound just like Uncle Mort.
Well, maybe I am old-fashioned. But I don't like the idea of any girl that I'm the friend of. Well, I don't like the idea, that's all.
Surely a woman is entitled to a life of her own.
Sure, go ahead. I hope you enjoy it.
Marshall, wait.
Oh, look where you're going.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, hello, Marshall. My fault. I didn't see you.
Oh, no, it was mine. Excuse me. Well, I guess I'll be going then, Marge.
Oh, don't, not yet.
Yeah, I guess I better. See you around.
Marshall.
Let him go, my dear. This sort of thing should not be going on here in the office anyway. Not during working hours.
But I haven't started working yet. I've got to speak to him, Uncle Mort.
Now, you stay right where you are. We have a few rules in this office, young lady. One of them is keeping strict hours. I fired one secretary for that yesterday.
Well, I'm not your secretary yet.
Let's have that clearly understood at the start. Just because you're my niece don't mean that I'm going to show you any favoritism. If you're going to work here, you're going to have to abide strictly by the rules at all times.
Then I'm not going to work here.
What's that?
I never wanted to work here in the first place. That was your idea.
I'll thank you to remember that I'm your uncle and you'll do what you're told.
You may be my uncle at home, but at the office you're just a dictator.
Oh,
no wonder you can't keep a secretary.
Can't keep a secretary? You're fired.
What's going on?
You too.
What did I do?
You're fired. Fire 'em. Now what am I going to do? Got to get help here. Got to get help. Never should have let Bessie go. May have been no bargain, but at least she never sassed me. Much. Yes, her Bessie was all right. A lot better than some. I wish I could get her back. She hasn't got a phone, that's the trouble. Well, I suppose I could go over there. Hate to go crawling to her, though. Well, I won't. I'll just bring her a bouquet of flowers.
Why, it's
Yeah, it's me, Bessie. Mr. Gildersleeve. Mind if I come in?
Oh, no, I guess not.
Thank you. Well, these are charming surroundings you have here. I've never had the pleasure of visiting them before.
You mean you're not mad anymore?
Oh, I never was mad, Bessie. No, I just lost my head there for a minute, I'm afraid. War nerves, I guess. You shouldn't have taken it seriously. Oh, brought you these flowers. Just a little token that we're still friends, eh?
Gee, flowers. I don't know what to say, but thanks. I'll put them in water later.
Yes, Bessie. I've come to tell you that you can have your job back.
Well,
To ask you to take it back, in fact.
Oh, well, that's awful nice, Mr. Gildersleeve, but I don't know if I could now.
Why not?
Well, you see, there's this friend of mine I told you about, Stanley Wazansky. He's a sergeant, and he's been after me to marry him all this time, and today I sort of promised him, sort of.
Oh, Stanley Wazansky. Well, that's fine. Go ahead and marry him. What's wrong with that?
You wouldn't get sore?
Sore? Why should I? If you love him, marry him with my blessing and take the day off.
Oh, gee, Mr. Gildersleeve. I don't hardly know what to say.
Take the weekend off. Have a honeymoon. And Monday morning, your job will still be waiting for you.
Just a minute, Bud.
Who's he?
Ain't you going to introduce me to your fat friend, Bessie?
Oh, well, this is Stanley, Mr. Gildersleeve.
How do you do, Sergeant?
So you're Mr. Gildersleeve. I heard about you, and I heard how you treated Bessie.
Oh, well, that was all a misunderstanding. It's all been straightened out, hasn't it, Bessie? Yes, indeed. She's going right ahead with the wedding. And after that, she's going to get her job back. Yes, sir.
Oh, no, she ain't.
Huh?
No wife of mine is going to work, see?
All right.
With me, a woman's place is in the home, see?
You needn't push.
And I don't want you hanging around neither. Now get out.
Why, you...
You heard me.
I heard you.
And take your crummy roses.
Oh! Why, he can't do that to me. I'll have you know I'm a veteran. I guess he didn't hear me. Wait a minute. Listen.
Well, what's he doing hanging around here? Answer me that. Go ahead, answer me that. What's he doing hanging around here?
Well, maybe all is not lost. Good night, everybody.
Music on this program was directed by Claude Sweeten. This is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company, makers of Parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Kraft invites you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
Ladies, when meat takes a holiday on your menu, as it so often does these days, liven up your meals with the wonderful cheddar cheese flavor of Pabstet. For here's another fine protein food, and it's really different. Pabstet melts, slices, spreads, and toasts to perfection, so you can use it in 100 or more delectable ways. Blended into a smooth, luscious sauce, rich and mellow cheddar cheese flavor, Pabstet adds extra goodness to macaroni, vegetable, egg, and chicken dishes. Pabstet is equally delicious in sandwich spreads, goes swell with fruit or pie for dessert. And it's a cheese food children love, especially since Pabstet is so nourishing and so easy to digest. Why not buy both delicious varieties? Golden Pabstet in the yellow package and Pimento Pabstet in the red package. Be sure to ask for Pabstet, the delicious cheddar cheese food of 100 uses.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
Cheese Company, makers of Parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products, present Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. Kraft brings you the Great Gildersleeve every week at this time, written by John Wheaton and Sam Moore, with music by Claude Sweeten. We'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. One of the biggest problems any mother has is to serve foods that make a hit with the children. And that's why so many mothers like to serve delicious Parquet margarine, a spread that really helps satisfy hungry young appetites. Parquet is a big favorite with children everywhere because it's the spread that tastes so good. And Parquet adds good nourishment, too. Parquet is a top-notch energy food, and it's fortified by Kraft with 9,000 units of important vitamin A in every single pound. So treat your youngsters and the whole family to this nourishing spread that makes so many foods taste so much better. Buy the delicious spread millions prefer to any other brand. Parkay, Parquet margarine made by Kraft. And now let's see how things are going with the Great Gildersleeve. Well, it's a matter of public record. In the want ad section of the Summerfield Indicator on May 26th appeared this item.
Wanted secretary. Must be experienced and neat appearing. Able to take dictation, do typing, filing, bookkeeping. Bring references. Apply water department between 9 and 10 a.m.
From the Summerfield Indicator of May 30th.
Wanted secretary at water department. No experience necessary.
From the Summerfield Indicator of May 31st.
Girl wanted at water department, $25 a week in car fare.
From the Summerfield Indicator of June 1st.
Girls make big money this easy way. Personal assistant to important executive in essential industry. Big future, generous salary, Saturdays off, 2 hours for lunch, vacation with pay. Apply now and get in on the water department picnic, June 16th. Prizes for all. Don't miss it. Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, Summerfield 2371. Phone day or night.
Evening, Miss Gildersleeve.
Oh, anybody phone, Bertie?
No, sir. Phone didn't ring all day.
Nuts. Good evening, Bertie.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
How long before dinner? I'm going to have to go back to the office and work tonight.
Dinner's in the oven right now, Mr. Gildersleeve. Won't be but a few minutes. I was just finishing setting the table here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work late tonight. Till all hours, I'm afraid. Where the dickens
You'll
is...
find the evening paper right beside your chair there.
Oh. Yeah, I'll probably work till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Maybe 3.
You'll be wanting coffee with your dinner then.
Buckets of it.
I thought you was going to get Miss Marjorie to help you down at the office, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, that didn't work out. Where is Marjorie?
She's upstairs doing her homework.
Homework? Oh, where's Leroy?
He's doing his homework, too.
Both of them doing their homework?
Yes, sir, that's right.
Must have gotten their report cards today.
I guess you can come and sit down now, Mr. Gildersleeve. Things are just about ready.
Good, Bertie. Thank you. Marjorie, Leroy.
What do you want?
Dinner.
Okay. Come on, Marge. Dinner.
Who the... I'll go, Bertie. Oh, it's that Bullard kid.
Can Leroy play?
I'm afraid not, Craig. It's Leroy's dinner time. Must be your dinner time, too.
I've had my dinner.
Oh. Well, Leroy hasn't had his yet, so...
I want Leroy to play with me.
Well, Leroy'd be very glad to play with you, I'm sure. But it just so happens that we're just sitting down to dinner, so perhaps some other time.
I want him to play with me.
Look here, you're letting in the flies. Either come in or stay out.
I'll come in.
All right, but I warn you, we're sitting down to dinner.
Hi, Al. Guess what I did in school today? Oh, it's you. Hi, Leroy.
Little friend of yours, Leroy.
Can you play? No, I'm busy.
Leroy, come here a minute, my boy. See if you can find a way to get him to go home, will you?
Go home.
No, Leroy, not that way. Now, Craig, your mother's looking for you, I'm afraid.
No, she's not. My mother's not home.
Oh. Well, your father is then. Your father's looking for you.
No, he's not. He's looking for my mother.
What was that?
Mr. Gildersleeve, dinner's on the table.
Oh, right away, Bertie. Marjorie!
Be right down.
Now, Craig, I don't know what you're going to do, but we're going to eat. Well, my dear.
Hello, Unky. Have a good day?
Horrible, horrible. Have to go back tonight.
Oh, hello, Craigie.
Hi. Somebody at the door.
They've come for Craig, maybe.
Oh, hi. I suppose you're looking for Gorgeous. She's inside.
Well, I'm really looking for my kid brother. Is he here?
I'll say.
Hello, Marshall.
Oh, hello, Marjorie. Gosh.
Yeah, good evening, my boy.
Oh, good evening, sir. Gee, Marge, I haven't seen you in 2 or 3 days, it seems like.
Yes.
I know, I've been busy.
I saw you after gym yesterday, but you didn't see me.
Yes.
Mr. Gildersleeve, supper's getting cold.
Yeah, right away, Bertie. So you've come for your little brother, eh, Marshall? Well, Craig?
Oh, yes. Get your things, Punk. We're going home. Say, Marge, what are you going to be doing after?
Oh, I don't know. Nothing particular. What are you going to be doing?
Nothing particular.
Yes.
Come on, Marshall. Let's go home.
Wait a minute. We could do our history together, Marge.
Well, I've done my history, but I guess I could go over it again.
Marshall, come on. I want to go home.
Keep your shirt on. I'll tell you what we could do.
Mr. Gildersleeve, shall I put it back in the oven? It's there.
Spare ribs? You leave it right where it is, Bertie. I'm going to eat if I have to eat alone. You'll pardon me, Marshall, if I partake of my supper, which has now been cooling on the table for some 15 or 20 minutes.
What's that? Oh, yeah. Go right ahead.
Thank you very much. Bertie, so help me. Those are the finest spare ribs I ever set tooth to.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed them. They're kind of hard to get these days.
You know, Bertie, what you ought to do? You ought to open up a little place, a little restaurant, where you could serve nothing but spare ribs. Spare ribs and coffee. You'd make a fortune.
Oh, go on.
I mean it. Wouldn't she, Leroy?
Uh-huh.
Here, you better let me bring you a finger bowl, Mr. Gildersleeve.
You better bring Leroy a tub.
I hate spare ribs. It's so hard to get any meat.
Well, if you weren't afraid to pick them up in your fingers.
But they're so greasy.
It's the only way to eat them, my dear.
Miss Priss, look at me. I'm not afraid.
You don't have to rub it in your hair.
Now, children, there's something I want to speak to you about, both of you.
Doorbell.
And that's it. No more of your friends calling at mealtime. Do you understand? No more. Leroy, sit still.
But there's somebody at the door.
Bertie is quite capable of answering it. Bertie?
I'm coming.
If that's a friend of Leroy's, Bertie, just tell him to go away.
Yes, sir?
I'll not have our meals made as shambles by these constant interruptions. Your friends haven't manners enough not to call at dinner time, yes, Bertie?
It's for you, Mr. Gildersleeve, Miss Ransom.
Ha!
Leroy. Will you excuse me, my dear?
Well, just this once.
I showed her into the parlor, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, thank you, Bertie. Well, Leela.
I'm afraid I've come at a very bad time, Throckmorton.
No, not at all. I was just finishing dinner. Have to hurry down to the office.
This evening?
Yep, 2,000 bills to get out, no secretary.
Oh, dear. I was hoping we could have a nice long talk. Well, I'll tell you about it quickly then. I have the most wonderful idea.
Oh, what's that?
I'm thinking of going into the antique business.
Antiques?
Yes. You see, I've got that big old highboy over there that belonged to my grandmother Beecham. It's no use to me in the world, and it's just in the way, and I thought, well, now, why don't I just sell it?
Yeah, but, Leela, you'd need more than one highboy. One sale, and you'd be out of business.
Well, it wouldn't just be antiques. I could do interior decorating, too. People have always told me I had a natural color sense and a knack for making things homelike, if I do say so myself.
Oh, you have, definitely. But starting a business...
Oh, this wouldn't be like a business exactly. But I do think women should do something these days, don't you? After all, with the war on. So I thought if I could open this antique shop and at the same time be helping the war effort...
Help the war effort? I don't get the connection.
Well, gracious, if you're going to do nothing but discourage me.
Leela, I'm not trying to discourage you. If you want to do something, that's great. But say, why don't you come to work for me?
Work for you? What kind of work, Throckmorton?
At the water department. You'd be my personal secretary. Secretary to the water commissioner. How would you like that? Will you do it, Leela?
Well, I don't know, Throckmorton. I kind of had my heart set on an antique shop. After all, there's my grandmother Beecham's highboy there.
Just for a week. Try it for a week, and if you don't like it, we'll call it quits.
Well...
All you have to do is address the bills.
Address bills?
And be my private secretary.
Well, all right, Throckmorton, I'll do it. Maybe this is a good way to start.
Sure.
But you'll have to pay me, understand? I'm terribly expensive.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we can come to terms, Leela. See you at the office then tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock?
9:15 then. 9:30?
Well, if I can make it.
Great, 9:30.
There's just one trouble about all this, Throckmorton.
What's that?
Doesn't solve a thing about my grandmother Beecham's highboy.
Is...
Oh, but I'm keeping you from your dinner. We'll worry about that later. I'll be running along now. See you at 10.
Huh? Oh, yeah, see you at 10, yeah. Goodbye. I gotta get going. I'll have my dessert now, Bertie.
Coming right up, Miss Gildersleeve.
Oh, 7:45, this very minute. Pass the cream, will you, Marjorie? Leroy, pass... Wait a minute.
Well?
What am I hurrying for? I just hired a secretary. Hee-hee.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds. Now that warm weather is here, you ladies will be serving more sandwiches and snacks. And a way to make them taste extra good and to make them extra nourishing, too, is to spread bread or cracker treats with delicious Parquet margarine. Parquet gives a real lift to summertime meals because Parquet's flavor is so fresh, so delicate, so satisfying. Parquet also helps provide food energy, something that's especially important in your family's summer diet when so many other foods you eat are low in energy value. Parquet margarine is a top-notch energy food, one of the very best, and it's fortified by Kraft so that every pound contains 9,000 units of vitamin A. So for real flavor enjoyment, for extra energy, for vitamin A, serve delicious, nourishing Parquet, Parkay, Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Remember, millions prefer Parquet to any other brand. Now, let's get back to the great Gildersleeve, who, having engaged a secretary, feels like a real executive for the first time in a week. At least he did feel like an executive. Now, however, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, and Leela has not yet arrived at the office.
Water department, good morning. You want your water disconnected? You bet. What's your name, please? Delahanty? D-E-L... Pardon me, there's a call on our other line. Water department, good morning. Want your water turned on? Certainly. Wonder if you'd mind holding the line for just a minute. Thank you. Now, hello, Mrs. Delahanty. Oh, Mr. Delahanty. Pardon me. Sorry to keep you waiting, but Leela, where have you been?
Good morning, Throckmorton. I brought you some flowers.
Yes. Just a minute, Mr. Delahanty. Leela, take this call while I handle the other one.
But I don't know what it's about.
Just take it, will you, please? Now, you want your water turned on, you say?
Hello?
Was that name McCutcheon?
Well, what is it you want, please?
McCutcheon, yeah, and the address, please.
Well, you didn't tell me what you wanted.
279 Lakeside. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sure there's someone here who can help you, madam.
He's a man, Leela.
Oh.
You bet, Mr. McCutcheon. We'll have somebody over there this afternoon. Yes, sir.
Just a minute. I think Mr. Gildersleeve may be able to help you if you... Oh! You have no right to speak to me in that tone of voice.
Leela?
Well, you may be a customer, but you're no gentleman.
Leela, give me the phone. Give me the phone. Hello, Mr. Delahanty. Yes, sir. You bet. Well, new girl, you know. Just started this morning. You know how that is.
Well.
Yes, sir. 316 Valley Road. Yeah, take care of it this afternoon. Sure, Mr. Delahanty. You bet.
I I don't think I'm going to like it here, Throckmorton.
Why not?
Well, if you're going to be rude to me.
Me? Now, how have I been rude?
You haven't even said good morning. You never thanked me for the flowers.
I haven't had a chance, Leela. I've been on the phone ever since you came in. I think the flowers are lovely. There's 2,000 bills over there that should have gone out last week.
Throckmorton, you haven't said a word about my dress.
Dress?
It's new. I bought it specially for the office.
Cute.
Do you really like it?
I should say I do. Now, about the bills.
I thought I should get something not too dressy so that people who came in would know I was tending strictly to business. But at the same time, I wanted something feminine so you could feel proud of me when you take me to lunch.
Lunch?
Well, it's a little early, but if you're hungry, let's go. I'm free tomorrow and Thursday, Throckmorton, but Friday I already have a day.
But, Leela, hello, Peavy.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve. Quite a stranger. What can I do for you this fine day?
Just a sandwich and a glass of milk, please.
Yes, sir. Seeing it's Friday, how about a nice tuna sandwich?
What else have you got?
That's all.
All right, tuna.
And a glass of milk. You haven't been ill, have you, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Ill? No.
Here's your sandwich. And your milk. I guess it's just that you haven't been in for several days.
Well, I've been lunching at the Summerfield Grill.
Noisy place.
Yes, it is a little noisy.
That businessman's blue plate they put up is a fairly nutritious meal. Runs into money, though, at 40 cents a day.
Well, I've been going a la carte, Peavy.
You don't say.
Yeah, a la carte for two.
Lady, I take it.
Well, my secretary. Yes, she's a lady.
That's what I say.
But this is purely a business arrangement, Peavy.
Oh, naturally.
Well, it is. It just happens that, well, I've engaged Mrs. Ransom as my secretary for the time being.
Oh. I didn't realize Mrs. Ransom had secretarial training.
She hasn't.
No shorthand?
No.
Probably operates a typewriter, though.
No, she doesn't operate a typewriter.
Understand bookkeeping?
No! But nevertheless, and notwithstanding, it's purely a business arrangement.
That's what I say. Aren't you going to finish your sandwich, Mr. Gildersleeve?
No, I'm going to the Summerfield Grill for the businessman's blue plate. It's the only place in town where a man can eat in peace and quiet.
Well, now,
Don't say it! Ye gods, Peavy!
Fat man shouldn't get excited like that. Oh, well, it's his blood pressure.
Where is she? Leela!
I'm in here, Throckmorton, in your private office.
In my... Oh.
Here I am, curled up in your big chair.
Well... Anybody call me?
No, but an awful man came in. He claimed he was your engineer out at the reservoir, but I just know you wouldn't have a man like that working for you.
Did he say his name was Uncle Charlie?
He didn't say. He was just a nasty old man with nasty old gray whiskers, and he used a type of language to which I am hardly accustomed.
Yeah, that's Uncle Charlie, all right.
He frightened me, Throckmorton. I gave him a quarter and told him to go on about his business.
Oh. Uncle Charlie wouldn't like that, Leela. Well, I guess he'll be back. Anything else?
Some tool salesman called. I told him you weren't interested.
Tool salesman?
Uh-huh.
Wasn't the fellow from the Tri-State Tool and Valve, was it?
That sounds like the name.
Oh, my goodness, Leela. I've been after that man for a month. We need a new snifter valve out at the reservoir.
What kind of valve?
Sniff, never mind, Leela. Oh, well, back to the old grind.
Oh, you work awfully hard, Throckmorton. I had no idea you worked so hard.
That's a man's life, Leela. Shoulder to the wheel, nose to the grindstone.
I suppose so. You know something? I was a little nervous when I first came down here to work for you.
Nervous? What about?
Well, you see, I happen to know what goes on between the average businessman and his secretary.
Where do people get these ideas? That's a lot of nonsense, Leela. That kind of thing only goes on in the movies.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, Throckmorton.
Well, there may be an occasional case, but if a man ever gets mixed up with a secretary, he'll never get any work done.
Absolutely. Anyhow, I decided I'd just let you know right off at the start that as far as I'm concerned, our relations will be strictly business.
Okay. Well, I guess I better call the Tri-State Tool people.
Oh, you really should relax for a few minutes after lunch, Throckmorton. You drive yourself too hard, you poor boy.
Yeah, but I got to get after that snifter valve, Leela.
Oh, I'll call the man for you. I like doing things for you.
Well, I wish you'd finish up those bills. After all, that's the main reason I got you in here.
Oh, but look at all the other ways I'm being useful. I sharpened all your pencils this morning. Did you notice?
Where are my pencils, Leela? I couldn't find them.
Oh, I'll put them right here in your desk drawer.
Huh?
Oh, that's funny. I don't see them. I must have left them out there by the pencil sharpener.
Oh, great. Well, thanks anyway.
I think I'm going to like being your secretary, Throckmorton.
Well, that's good.
I've always been afraid to work before because I was just sure some man would try to take advantage of a business relationship.
Well, nothing to be afraid of. Probably isn't one businessman in Summerfield to do a thing like that.
Well, I happen to know that's not true. You know that office building across the street from Dr. Peck, the dentist?
Yeah? What about it?
Well, the last time I went to Dr. Peck, there was some man kissing his secretary in the office across the way.
I wonder who has that office.
I don't know, but I got so interested I forgot to ask for Novocaine.
You know, you've given me an idea, Leila.
Really? What?
I think I'll take advantage of our business relationship.
Throckmorton, don't you dare.
Oh, just one little kiss. What harm can be done?
Don't you come near me, you hear?
Come on now, Leila. Oh, come here, you little bitch. Now I've got you. Now, give me a kiss first.
Well, that's the way it is, huh? I might have noticed.
Charlie, what's the idea of walking in here without knocking?
Knocking? I heard the Dad Buster's rummage going on in here, and I thought maybe somebody was robbing the place.
Oh, how humiliating.
Yeah, don't worry, Leila. Charlie won't say anything about this.
Throckmorton, you're disgusting.
What's that, sister?
I'm not your sister. If you will excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve, I shall continue with my regular duties.
Confound it, Charlie. You ought to have more brains than to come busting in here like that.
I thought you'd reached the age of sense, Commissioner.
I have not.
Who the dickens is that woman, anyway?
She happens to be my secretary, Charlie.
Your secretary? Well, I thought the last one was bad, but this one takes the cake. Did she tell you that I was in to see you a while ago?
She said something about it, yes.
She treated me as if I was some kind of a dad-busted bum. And that ain't all. Al Kingman just called me from the Tri-State Tour and Valve. Said she threw him out on his piazza, too.
Well, that's not true. She just kind of postponed Al.
Postponed him? Commissioner, you can call her whatever your dad brain please. But a woman like that's got no place in the water department.
Now, Charlie, it's very hard to get help these days.
You're not fooling me a bit, Mr. Gildersleeve. If I hadn't happened to walk in, catch you red-handed, that'd be different.
But, Charlie...
You just get rid of this overaged blonde and hire a woman that can tend to business.
Shh, you're talking a little loud, Charlie.
Yeah, you'd better get another girl.
But I don't know where to find anybody else.
Then I'll ask you one more question. Do you know where to find another engineer?
Well, I could probably... Charlie, you wouldn't be...
The heck I wouldn't. You think it over, Commissioner. It's either me or... It's her.
Well, all right, Charlie. I'll get rid of her. Yeah, the question is, how? How to do it. How to do it.
I'm going home now, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Huh?
Don't forget to lock the office.
Oh, wait a minute. Leela.
What is it?
I'm sorry I forgot myself this afternoon.
I'd prefer not to discuss it if you don't mind. Goodbye.
You're not thinking of quitting, are you?
No, I've made a bargain and I'll stick to it.
Oh.
Providing you can remember to be a gentleman.
No, I guess not. You're developing into a darn good businesswoman, Leela.
You think so?
Oh, one of the best. I never would have thought that. Well, you know.
Oh, you're just like all the rest. You think just because a woman is attractive, she can't possibly have any brains or executive ability.
Well, I was wrong. In fact, I was so wrong, I think maybe I'm being a little selfish in keeping you just as a secretary.
It seems awfully sudden for promotion, Throckmorton, but if you have confidence in...
No, it isn't exactly that, Leela, but I've been thinking about that antique business you mentioned the other day. I think you could make a go of that, Leela.
Oh, I'm sure I could.
Oh, why don't you try it?
Perhaps I will someday.
Oh, not someday. Now. Strike now while the iron is hot. Open up a business. Make yourself some real money. Get a few more pieces of furniture into your house, Leela, and stuff you can sell, of course. Then have a grand opening. Send out engraved invitations.
Hire a caterer and some music.
That's it. But you got to get organized now, Leela. Time is of the essence.
I'll do it. Of course, there's one problem.
What?
That grand opening and all might cost quite a bit of money.
$75 or $80 to take care of the whole thing.
Would it?
Sure.
Oh, Throckmorton, you're so smart. You just know everything.
Yeah. Well, pretty near, anyway.
I'll bet you can even think of a way for me to raise that $75, can't you?
Yeah, I'll bet I can, Leela. Oh, how do I get into these things?
Mr. Gildersleeve, you busy?
No, Bertie, just balancing my checkbook. 18, 25, 31.
I was thinking about what you said the other day.
Oh?
I talked to my friend about it, and he knows where I can get a place.
Place?
Yes, sir. He thinks I could rent it for $25 a month.
25? What are you talking about, Bertie?
About what you said the other day. Don't you remember? You said I should open up a place and sell spare ribs.
Bertie, you want to keep working here, don't you?
Oh, yes, sir.
Then don't ever pay any attention to anything I say. Good night, Bertie. Good night, everybody.
Music on this program was directed by Claude Sweet. This is Vern Smith speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company, makers of parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Kraft invites you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve. And now here's another Kraft quality food product that's sure to add flavor zip to your mealtime, lunchtime menus. It's Kraft Salad Mustard, a tangy golden salad mustard prepared to Kraft's own special recipe. It's a creamy, smooth blend of choice mustard seed, fragrant spices, and mellowed aromatic vinegar. And you can use this delicious salad mustard in foods and on them with taste-tingling results. Kraft Salad Mustard adds a delightful flavor tang to salad dressings, perks up those cream sauces you pour over hot-cooked vegetables and fish, gives an appetizing lift to egg and cheese dishes. Kraft Salad Mustard is a real flavor treat on sausages and cold cuts, too. And say, there's also another zestful variety, Kraft Mustard with nippy horseradish added. Your dealer has both kinds. They're both delicious. Ask for Kraft Horseradish Mustard and the tangy golden Kraft Salad Mustard.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
The Kraft Cheese
Cheese Company, makers of Parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products, presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. Kraft brings you the Great Gildersleeve every week at this time, written by John Whedon and Sam Moore, with music by Claude Sweeten. We'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. First, a special message. This summer, 4 million emergency workers are urgently needed on American farms. You can help by devoting your spare time and energies to the task of cultivating and harvesting these vital crops. Plan now to be a Victory Farm volunteer. And now, here's good advice to everyone who's working extra hard these days. Help replenish some of that energy you use up each day by spreading delicious Parquet margarine on bread, toast, rolls, and crackers. Parquet, you know, is one of the very best energy foods you can eat, and it's fortified by Kraft so that every pound contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. So for delicious, satisfying flavor and for good nutrition, too, serve Parquet at every meal. Tomorrow, ask your dealer for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Now, the Great Gildersleeve. The curfew tolls the knell of parting day. The lowing herd winds slowly o'er the lea. The water commissioner homeward plods his weary way. And leaves the world to darkness and to me.
Wonder what's for dinner. Tired tonight. Tired but happy. Grass needs cutting. Oh, well, perhaps I can interest Leroy in the problem. Anybody home?
Hello, Unky.
Oh, I didn't see you there, my dear.
How'd it go today?
Oh, pretty well. My secretary's back.
Bessie?
Yeah, Bessie's back.
Well, how come? Tell me about it.
Just hang my hat here and I'll be right in.
She didn't get married?
No, her boyfriend walked out on her. Terrible thing.
Good evening, Mr. Gildersleeve. Nobody told me you were home.
Good evening, Bertie.
I'll have your dinner ready in just a few minutes. Now, don't you worry.
Well, who's worried? Did I say anything about dinner? I'm in no rush.
No, sir, but I know when you get home, you like your dinner.
Ye God, you think I never thought about anything but eating. What are we having, Bertie?
Well, sir, there's a war on.
All right, don't tell me.
But I think you're going to like it.
Any mail come today, my dear?
I don't know.
Bertie, any mail today?
Yes, sir, there's a package came for you. It's up there on the mantel.
Why doesn't somebody tell me these things? Package, eh?
Hi, Unc.
Oh, hello, Leroy.
What's the package?
I don't know.
What's in it?
I don't know. I'm just unwrapping it.
Who's it for?
It's not for you.
Well, who's it from? Look on the outside there. It usually tells.
Will you keep your hands off of it?
Okay.
The package was addressed to me.
I just thought you might like to know who it was from, that's all.
That we will find out all in good time. Well.
What is it, Uncle Mort?
A book.
Nuts.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. I just thought it might be something, that's all.
What is the book, Unky?
Well, it's something I subscribe to. The Book of the Century Club. This is the first one they've sent me.
Who got you into that?
Nobody got me into it. It was recommended to me by your principal, Miss Goodwin. Recommended very highly, in fact.
What's the name of the book, Unky? You haven't told us that.
Well, let's see here. It's called America What? Oh, sounds very interesting.
Yeah. What's it about?
Well, it says underneath here, Civilization at the Crossroads.
Boy, I can hardly wait. Can I read it next, Unc?
Wouldn't hurt you to do a little reading, Smarty, instead of listening to those radio programs.
Aren't you right?
You too, my dear. Wouldn't do you any harm either.
I read all the time.
Yeah, movie magazines.
Well, I haven't seen you read a book in 5 years.
Well, I've been busy. I'm going to start tonight.
Mr. Gildersleeve, dinner.
Ciao, Unc.
Go right ahead, children. I'll be right in.
Leroy, you don't have to trick us first.
America What? By Lloyd Q. Smith. Very interesting. 319 pages.
Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes, you can take it, Bertie. Just leave my coffee, will you?
Mr. Gildersleeve, you going any place tonight?
No, Bertie. Just planning to spend the evening at home with a good book. Why?
I wondered if it would be all right if I go to the movies tonight with Lily B. Seems like I ain't seen a movie since Romance on the Rancho.
Go ahead, Bertie. But what was Romance on the Rancho?
Oh, it was just a picture. It had that Jack Dunlap in it. He kills me, that man.
Oh? Who's Jack Dunlap?
Never heard of Jack Dunlap? I bet Miss Marjorie knows him.
Sure, he's married to Linda Delacourt.
Who's Linda Delacourt?
A starlet. They split up for a while, but now they're back together. He gave her a diamond collar for her Scotty.
You see what I mean, Marjorie? If you spent more time reading worthwhile books instead of all that movie stuff, everybody ought to do more reading. You too, Bertie.
Seems like I don't get much time for reading somehow.
Anybody can get time if they make time. Now, I'm a busy man, but I'm going to spend a whole evening reading a book. I expect to enjoy it, too.
Yes, sir. Well, if it's all the same to you, I'll take my enjoyment at the movies.
All right, Bertie, go ahead. Goodness knows you've earned it. Let's go in the other room, shall we, Marjorie?
Okay.
Yes. Let's see. Where did I... Leroy, are you reading my book?
Are you kidding?
Well, get up out of my chair. Doorbell, Bertie.
I'm coming.
She's coming.
Oh, good evening, Judge.
Good evening, Bertie. Is Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes, sir, he's right in there.
Hello, Judge. Come in.
Well, little family gathering. Hello, Marjorie. Leroy.
Hi. Hello, Judge.
Get your hat on, Gildy. We're going down to the Jolly Boys Club.
Not tonight, Horace.
Oh, you got to. I just found out this morning it's Peavy's birthday.
Yeah? Well, what do you know?
Yeah, I called up 4 or 5 of the boys, and we're going to get him down there and give him a little surprise party. It'll be more darn fun.
Gosh, I'd like to.
Oh, come on.
He can't. He's got to do his homework.
What's that?
Miss Goodwin assigned him a book. He's got to read it and give a report.
Leroy, that's not true. I'd go if I wanted to, only I don't want to.
What's this about a book?
Well, is there anything so strange about it? I plan to spend the evening here with a book.
Alone?
Certainly.
Doesn't sound like you. Must be a fascinating book. What is it?
Well, I've got it right here. It's called America What?
America what?
That's it. America What?
Who wrote it?
Let's see. Lloyd Q. Smith.
Who's Lloyd Q. Smith?
Well, he's a writer. He's important.
How do you know?
Because this company only publishes important books. It's the Book of the Century Club.
The Book of the Century Club. What does it do? Publish one book every 100 years?
All right, it's a mighty good book, and I intend to read it.
Well, if you get tired of the book club, drop in at the Jolly Boys.
I have better things to do, Judge.
Night, Marjorie. Night, Leroy.
Good night. Good night.
Say good night to your uncle for me. Bookworm.
Go on, you illiterate old goat. Yeah. Well, if there are no more interruptions, I may be able to get a little reading done. Just get settled here. What are you reading there, my boy?
Huckleberry Finn.
Well, that's a good book. Why don't you read something, Marjorie?
I may later. I'm writing a letter now.
Yes, nothing like reading. Wonder if you'd mind getting me a couple of cigars, my dear, over there in the humidor. Always like to have them handy when I read. Leroy, would you be good enough to shove that footstool under my feet?
Oh, what's that?
Never mind, I'll do it.
I'm going now, Mr. Gildersleeve.
All right, Bertie, have a good time. Bertie!
Yes, sir?
I wonder if you have any apples out there. Might like an apple later to munch while I read. Relieves the monotony sometimes to have something to chew on.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve. There ain't an apple in the house.
Oh, yes. Well, let it go. Good night, Bertie.
Good night, sir.
Yeah. Kind of friendly and nice, isn't it? Everybody reading here and writing letters. Leroy, your uncle spoke to you.
What's that?
I said it's kind of friendly and nice here with everybody reading.
How can I read with you talking to me all the time?
Excuse me. Well, see what the book says here. Who are you writing to, Marjorie?
Aunt Hilda.
Oh, good girl.
I've owed her a letter for about 3 months.
Give her my love. You know, the thing about reading...
Oh, for corn's sake, I'm going to...
What's the matter with him?
He gets like that.
Well, what I was going to say, you spend all your time running around and seeing people you call your friends. But books are your best friends if you only knew it. Yes, sir. I remember an old professor of mine at college saying to me, Professor Griswold, he taught me English literature. Old Grizzly, we used to call him. Oh, Grizzly. George, I haven't thought of him in a long time. Grand old fellow and a great teacher. All the students loved him and looked up to him. I was a sort of a pet of his. He used to invite me over in the evening sometimes, and we'd sit there in his study in front of the fire and discuss good books. I remember him saying to me one time, Gildersleeve, he said, Marjorie, where are you going?
Well, if you'll excuse me, Uncle Mort, I think I'll go upstairs. I've been trying for months to get this letter written, so if you don't mind.
Not at all. Go right ahead.
I'd love to hear about your professor sometime.
Yes, go along. Seems I'm not very popular around here. Well, Griswold was right. Books are a man's best friend. At least they don't run out on you. Well, let's have a look at this one, see what the fellow says. Here we are, Chapter 1. The 20th century will one day be known as the century of communication. And it's from this point of view that I wish to make a brief survey of world events of the last 50 years. In Europe, the tensions and anxieties of the 90s had erupted into flames. In Asia, the Japanese Empire still slumbered unaware of its tragic destiny. And in America, what? Well, he's got something there. But what is it? I might just read it again. Griswold used to say, always read for the sense. Don't just look at the words. Good old prof. Yes, those were the days. Those were the days. Well, try this again. The 20th century will one day be known as the century of communication. I follow it so far. From this point of view, I wish to make a brief survey of world events of the last 50 years.
If I may interrupt for a moment, we don't want to wake Mr. Gildersleeve, but we would like to bring you now a message of some importance from our sponsor, the Kraft Cheese Company. The next time you homemakers leaf through your favorite magazines, notice especially the large number of recipes and menus that call for fortified margarine. No doubt you'll want to try some of these recipes and menus soon. And Kraft's Parquet is the fortified margarine you'll surely want to use, because Parquet's flavor is so fresh and delicate, its texture so smooth for easy spreading and for blending with other foods. Parquet is a favorite with women everywhere, preferred by millions to any other brand. And remember, every single pound of Parquet is fortified with 9,000 units of important vitamin A. It's also tops in food energy, so buy Parquet soon. See if your family, too, doesn't prefer this delicious Kraft quality spread to any other brand. Ask for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Well, Gildersleeve has fallen a victim to the Sandman. A happy smile makes a dimple on each pudgy cheek. He must be dreaming.
Finest college in the good old USA.
Oh, he's dreaming of his alma mater.
Hi, Throckmorton.
Oh, hi, Charlene.
You want to sit next to me?
Do I want to sit next to the queen of the campus? I sure do.
This morning, students, we shall begin to consider the most fruitful period of our poet's career. When Keats began to pluck with his magic fingers the same inspired lyre which Homer, Milton, and Dante had plucked centuries before.
Hey, Charlene, what are you doing tonight?
Anything you say, Throckmorton.
What is more gentle than a wind in summer? What is more soothing than the pretty hummer that stays one moment in an open
The
flower?
Catlers are having a weenie roast tonight. You want to go?
That sounds swell.
Pick you up right after supper.
Now we ask ourselves, what is the poet's meaning in the passage we have just heard? Mr. Gildersleeve, can you tell us?
Me?
You're the only Gildersleeve in this class, are you not?
Well, I want to... Yes, sir.
Well, then give us your notion of the poet's meaning in this passage.
Was it, something about life?
Mr. Gildersleeve, I would like to see you in my study at 8 o'clock this evening.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I regret that I have found it necessary to send for you. The fact is, however, that your work in my class thus far would be a disgrace to a sophomore in high school.
But, Professor...
Your knowledge of English literature is infinitesimal. Your appreciation of poetry is microscopic. In addition, you're inattentive and your spelling is atrocious.
Professor...
Unless you can show a marked improvement in your work, I shall be compelled to place you on probation.
Probation? That would mean I'd have to resign as assistant manager of the golf team.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is.
What you for? Zerp? Must have dropped off there for a minute. Where's... Oh, yes. I was reading. Book. Yes. The 20th century will one day be known as the century of communication. By George, that's a good thought. Deep but good. Kind of stuffy in here. Maybe I ought to get a little air. I'll just... Foot's gone to sleep. Pins and needles.
Did you call, Uncle Mort? I thought I heard something.
Oh, no, Marjorie. I was just thinking out loud. I believe I'll go for a little walk.
Oh, all finished reading?
Well, just for the moment. Big mistake to read too much at one time, my dear. Read a little, then reflect. Read and reflect. That's what my old professor used to say. Old Prof. Griswold. Dried up old fossil. The air is nice tonight. Nice moon, too. The Jolly Boys. By George, that's a terrible quartet. Hooker's always flat. Yes, sir, they really need me. Maybe I ought to just... No, I'll get back to my book. Hey, that moon. I wonder what Eve Goodwin is doing. Might be good to get her slant on the book. Hello, Eve.
Why, Throckmorton, what a surprise. Won't you come in?
Well, for a minute. Guess what I've been doing,
Come
Eve?
into the parlor and see how you like it. I've changed everything around.
Looks fine, Eve. What do you think I've been doing?
I've got the sofa where the table used to be, and of course that meant moving these chairs to face the other way. I think it's much nicer, don't you?
Great. What do you think...
Throckmorton, I wonder if you could do me one favor.
Oh, nuts. Favor? Sure. What is it?
I'm just dying to know how the piano would look over here against the wall.
The piano?
It's only an upright, but it simply won't budge for me.
Well, let a man try it. sure it isn't nailed down.
Oh, no.
The darn thing must be solid lead. There. Now she's coming.
Oh, careful, Throckmorton. Oh, there, that's just the place. How do you think it looks?
Perfect.
Well, I'm not so sure. But let's sit down for a minute anyway, shall we?
Eve, guess what I've been doing?
What?
I've been reading.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been reading a book.
I'm afraid the piano isn't right there.
Forget the piano, ye gods. I tell you, I'm reading a book.
Well, it's nothing to get hysterical about. What are you reading?
The latest book of the century selection. America What?
Oh, are you reading that, too?
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
My copy came yesterday morning, and I finished it last night. I just couldn't lay it down. Could you?
Well, it slipped out of my hand once. I haven't quite finished it.
Oh, well, you'll enjoy it, Throckmorton.
Oh, I am already. I got quite a ways into it. And then I thought maybe it would be fun to, well, discuss the fellow's idea a little.
Which ones?
Oh, on life.
Well, he has some very fascinating ideas on life. Did you come to the chapter on the woman of tomorrow?
No, but it sounds good. Let's discuss that.
I must warn you, his ideas on women are quite advanced.
Oh, you can't scare me. So are mine. Look, Eve, there's a wonderful moon out tonight. Why don't we discuss this book out on the back porch?
No, Throckmorton.
Oh, come on, Eve. I thought you were crazy about books.
I am. Books mean a great deal to me.
Then why don't we go out on the porch? Gosh, it's your fault I got into this thing. I mean, it was your idea for me to join the club. Now you've got me all excited about this book, and you won't even discuss it.
I'm perfectly willing to discuss it, Throckmorton. What is it about the book that you find most interesting?
Well, the whole idea. America, what?
Well, do you think Smith's ideas are right? Do you agree with what he says about America?
Well, yes and no.
How much of the book have you read, Throckmorton?
Huh? What do you mean by that?
Do you think you've read half of it?
Well, maybe not half.
A chapter? A page?
It's none of your business. I don't see what there is to laugh at.
I'm sorry, I can't help.
Well, I'm going home. A man comes over for a little intelligent conversation, and first he has to move pianos, then he gets a regular examination. Ye gods!
Hey, Judge, look who's coming.
Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to read this evening.
Hello there.
Hello, Gildersleeve.
Hi. I can't stay, gentlemen. I just dropped in to wish Peavy many happy returns of the day.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve. I wish you'd have a Coke with me before you go.
Sure, Commissioner. Have a Coke with the birthday boy.
Well, just one, thank you, Chief. How old are you anyway, Peavy?
Well, we was just having an argument about that, Mr. Gildersleeve. The judge claims Peavy is 90 years old. I claim he's at least 108.
Yeah, fellas have been joshing me all evening, Mr. Gildersleeve. I wish you could have been here earlier to hear some of the humorous conversation.
Well, here's your Coke, Commissioner.
Thanks, Chief. Happy days, Peavy.
Thank you. I might just venture to repeat a remark Floyd made a short while ago. It struck me as very funny.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Peavy.
Let him tell it, Judge. It's his birthday. What was Floyd's witty remark, Peavy?
Well, he was drinking my health, and he said, "Here's to you and your drugstore. May all your troubles be aspirin tablets." The point being that aspirin tablets are small.
Oh, brother. Don't tell me Floyd's been getting off stuff like that all evening.
Yes, sir, he has.
Hey, how's it happen we got the pleasure of your company, Commissioner? Judge Hooker said you were curled around a good book for the night.
Yeah, what happened, Gildy? Did you find your brain was a little out of practice in digesting heavy thinking?
Nothing of the kind, Judge. I simply interrupted my reading to pay my respects to my old friend Peavy here.
I appreciate it, Mr. Gildersleeve. What was the book, if I may inquire?
Yeah, what were you reading, Commissioner? A cookbook?
Yep. I was reading the current selection of the Book of the Century Club, Floyd. It's about politics.
Oh? It's for the Democrats or the Republicans?
Neither. It's about world affairs. Very interesting.
Oh. World affairs. Good subject.
Yes, you'd enjoy it, Peavy. I'll lend it to you when I finished it. Sooner, if you want.
Yeah,
Look, fellas, world affairs is a mighty important subject, but aren't we going to play any cards tonight?
Yeah, let's get down to business here.
The trouble with you, Floyd, and you too, Chief, is you don't bother to inform yourselves on world developments.
Who don't? In my barber shop, I hear 6 commentators every day.
That's not what Gildersleeve's talking about, boys. Gildersleeve is now a deep thinker.
Listen, Hooker, I consider my brain the equal of yours any day.
Gildersleeve, I resent that.
Hello. Are we going to squabble on Peavy's birthday?
Yeah, about a lousy book.
Well, he started it.
Now, Commissioner.
I wonder if a song wouldn't clear the air, gentlemen. I have a suggestion. There is a tavern in the town.
No, Peavy. Look, I got the song. Just the song for your birthday. Darling, I am growing old.
Yeah, that's it. Only let the Commissioner sing the lead,
Yeah.
huh? Come on, Mr. Gildersleeve.
All right. And Hooker, for heaven's sake, try to stay on the key. Let's have the key, Floyd. Darling, I am growing old. Silver threads among the gold shine upon my brow today. Life is fading fast away, but my darling, you will be always young and fair to me. Yes, my darling, you will be always young and fair to me.
Gee, that's not so bad.
Well, get on with your poker game, boys. I guess I'll get back to my book. Good night, Peavy.
Just one round, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, seeing it's your birthday, deal me in, Floyd.
Okay.
Good night, America. What?
Music on this program was directed by Claude Sweeten. This is Vern Smith speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company, makers of parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Kraft invites you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Good cooks not only know the ABCs of cooking, they also know their Z's. The Z's stand for zip, zing, zest, the kind of lip-smacking results you get when you perk up foods with tangy golden Kraft salad mustard. It's creamy smooth, delicately spiced, can be used in all sorts of tempting ways. For extra zip, add Kraft salad mustard to an appetizing cream sauce for hot-cooked vegetables or leftover meats. For extra zing, blend Kraft salad mustard into tasty sandwich spreads. For extra zest, add tangy Kraft salad mustard to French dressings, gravies, pickle relish, and barbecue sauce. So put extra zip, zing, zest into your meals. Buy Kraft salad mustard. Also try this other popular variety, Kraft mustard with nippy horseradish added. Remember to ask for Kraft quality mustards.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.